The question of the day, when do I take my thyroid meds? When should I time them? How do I take them? What about supplements? What about coffee? So let's address this quickly because I'm getting a ton of questions about this. And it's kind of funny when you post something on Facebook and you never really expect people to start commenting and going back and forth. And then they do, you realize, hey, this is something that we really need to dive into and talk about. So let's talk about it. So this is going to be a game changer for you. And you can probably hear the excitement in my voice. The latest introduction, the latest member of the family to the Fixer line is Metabolism Fixer. And this, oh my God, I formulated this just for all my people out there that need to lose weight, that need help in the weight loss department, that can't lose weight no matter what they do, that feel like they have a slow metabolism, and that might be thinking of trying all those peptides out there, you know, the Beverly Hills soccer mom drug of choice for weight loss peptides. Or even if you're on them already and you're like, man, these are really expensive and I'm still not losing weight, add in Metabolism Fixer. Here's what I did. I took the power of T2, which increases your basal metabolic rate while you are sitting there watching Netflix. You're burning fat while you're watching Netflix. I combined it with a very unique patented ingredient called Suppressa. Suppressa has multiple clinical trials backing its efficacy in reducing your appetite, decreasing snacking, and providing way more control over your food intake. It is amazing. We also see improved emotional well-being, just decreased food cravings all around, reduced hunger, and weight management. Add on top of that, we have green tea extract, we have purple forest purple tea extract, both of which affect the metabolism in a very positive way without the jitters of normal fat burning supplements out there from the 1980s and 90s, right? The ones that made you feel like you're having a heart attack. You will not have that in any of my supplements, Thyroid Fixer or Metabolism Fixer. But Metabolism Fixer, ooh, yeah, we kicked it up a notch. It is in powder form, so you can drink it through your day. It's going to flavor your water. We got Orange Crush and Refreshing Citrus. I love them both. It is going to keep you under control all day long. So you throw a couple scoops in your water bottle in the morning, throw a scoop or two in your water bottle throughout the day. You will have fat burning and appetite control the entire day for what? An eighth of a price of the peptides? Oh my God, you can't go wrong. So grab some Metabolism Fixer today. Please let me know how you do on it. I am super excited for you. Super excited. First of all, if you are on a T4 only medication, T4 only, so you're on Synthroid, Levo, Tirosint, or even if you are on T4 and T3 separately, so they're not combined into a natural desiccated thyroid product, they're not compounded, you are just taking T4 only or T4 and T3 separately. T4 is very sensitive to pretty much anything, food, coffee, the whole deal. We want it to be absorbed as close to 100% as possible. So the best way to take T4, and a study has been done on this that proves this is a great way to do it. Trust me, I'll get into the study in just one moment, but take it right before bed. Immediately before climbing into bed, set it on your nightstand, and that's when you take your T4. So the study that was done took groups of people, and for 2 months, they took their T4, just like their doctor tells them, just like he or she told you, take it in the morning and wait a half an hour. That's not going to cut it. First of all, a half an hour decreases its absorption rate by up to 40 to 50%. So just waiting 30 minutes instead of 60 minutes in the morning before eating or drinking your coffee can cut the absorption rate of your T4 medication. Taking it right before bed makes it so much easier on you because you're not going to be eating. You're going to be sleeping. Now, you do have to stop eating an hour prior, but most of you do. Most of us do. So just stop eating 1 hour before going to bed, take your T4 medication, go to bed. The other thing that this study found when comparing people who took it right before bed versus in the morning, like most of us are told to do, is that since TSH has an actual circadian rhythm, TSH increases at night. So taking your T4 medication right before bed decreases TSH, which is what we want, and it improves absorption through the night. So the gut actually absorbs the medication better while you are sleeping than as you move through your day. Now, when they did this study, they did it for 2-month time frame. So for 2 months, these people took it in the morning. And then for 2 months, the same group of people took it in the evening. And every single lab marker that was measured improved. And it improved significantly. Like there was a big jump. So a huge decrease in TSH, a really nice increase in free T3 and free T4, decrease reverse T3, decrease antibodies. So we saw improvements across the board when patients took their T4 medication right before bed. Now, if you're taking T3, you kind of don't want to take this before bed. Some people can get away with taking their NDT, so their Armour, Thyroid, NP. Some people can get away with taking it right before bed and it does not affect their sleep. But because T3 peaks at 4 hours, most of the time you don't want to take that right before bed. It could wake you up. And if you're already having insomnia or trouble falling asleep and staying asleep, that might not be something that you want to do. So if you can split it up, if you're taking the 2 synthetics, then take the T4 before bed and take your T3 as soon as you get up in the morning, and then split dosed or multi-dosed throughout the day. So that's the best way to do that. Now, T3, you do want to take it in the morning upon waking. And then you always want to take a second, third, or even fourth dose throughout the day. Every person is different when it comes to dosing T3. Some people can get away with just twice a day dosing, but I don't recommend once a day. And the reason being, I have had patients that were prescribed, let's say, 10 or 20 micrograms of T3. And the first time they took it all at once. And then they wondered why they had a rapid heart rate and felt jittery and was shaking. It's because you're dropping a really big T3 bomb on someone in the morning on an empty stomach for the first time, and they haven't gradually titrated up whatsoever in their T3 dose. The other thing is people will crash in the afternoon. So because T3 peaks at 4 hours, by 3 p.m., people are starting to come down on the other side and they're crashing. And that's when they're feeling that afternoon fatigue. We want to keep T3 in your system continuously because it does peak, has its spike, and then decreases through the day. So we want to keep that level, kind of a nice little flow going on throughout the day. That's why it's best to multi-dose or at least split dose twice a day. Now, this is a short video. We're not going to get into circadian rhythm T3 method from Paul Robinson, but you can always look into that. That has worked for some people as well. And we really like to check your cortisol and try to time it with that. NDTs, so your combos, your T4, T3 combos. I still like to split dose those because, again, we're talking about T3 in there. It's an 80-20 split, 80% T4, 20% T3. Because there is T3 in there, we want you to get the most bang for your buck out of that. We want you to get the benefit of being on that NDT and having that T3 medication in it. So we want to split dose that as well. It's far better. Let's say you're on 60 milligrams of Armour. It is far better to take 30 and 30 than 60 all at once and then crash later in the day. That change alone, that splitting the dose of your NDT, splitting the dose of your T3 to morning and afternoon without even changing the dose, just splitting that up and breaking that up at 2 points during the day can make a huge difference in how you feel. Huge, huge, huge. Patients have noticed an improvement within days of doing that. That way you don't get that big T3 bomb and you're feeling jittery, and you get a little bit of T3 in the afternoon to kind of keep you going and get your energy up. Really, really helps. Now, the other rule of thumb to go over is do not take your T3 medication or your NDT the morning of your labs. You do not take it the morning of your labs. That will give you a falsely elevated T3 level. I see this all the time. Patients will show me their labs. The T3 will be like a 4.5, but they're still feeling hypo. And I ask, did you accidentally take your T3 the morning of your labs? And then they reply, yes. And then we have to redo the labs so that we get an accurate picture. I like 24 hours. Some practitioners say 18 hours before. If your doctor tells you, don't worry about it, go ahead and take it the morning of. Do not listen, because your medication is going to get dropped. You're going to have a high T3 because remember, it peaks at 4 hours. You're going to have a high T3 level because you woke up, you took it at 6 a.m. and you went and got your labs done at 8. And that T3 level is climbing. You're going to have a falsely elevated T3 number, free T3 number. And then your doctor's going to drop your medication dose. And you shouldn't, because we don't have an accurate number. So do not take your T3 medication the morning of your labs. The other thing to remember with supplements, you want to take them at least an hour away. Now, I know this gets confusing when you're multi-dosing, when you're split dosing. T4 is more sensitive than T3. T3, you can get away with half an hour. I mean, unless you're really struggling, unless you are on that struggle bus of trying to get over hypo and get out of that hypo pit. If you feel like you are a little bit more optimized, you can get away with half an hour. But all of you who are still struggling, I want you to wait that full hour. Now, T4 being very sensitive, 1 full hour away from coffee, 1 full hour away from food, 1 full hour away from supplements, 4 hours away from iron or calcium or Tums or PPIs, 4 hours. So if that means you have to try to, heal your gut and get off of the Tums and PPIs, that would be good. If it means that you have to set an alarm to take your iron at a different time, do that. If you are taking your T4 medication before bed, then that gives you the whole day to get in all of your supplements and your iron. Okay, so tips, tricks, how to take your meds. Hopefully that helps cut through some of the confusion, answer some of the questions. Of course, if you have any more, reach out to me and I will be happy to help you. Thanks for listening to the Thyroid Fix podcast. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button so you get updated on every single episode that comes out. Go to my website at amyhornaman.com and feel free to follow me on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.